JoJo's Bizarre Adventure Stardust Crusaders Episode 10 review. Now that link to the episode is going to be in the description box down below on Crunchyroll.com. Now this episode, the ending was jarring. It was impactful. It was emotional. And as a reviewer, I'm going to give the rating that I see. However, I also need to talk about this. After I'm done, I need to talk this from another perspective. Because as a reviewer, I'm thinking one way. But there's another side to this that I kind of want to address. So let me get started. When it comes to this episode of JoJo's, first of all, I have read the manga, and right now in the manga, I'm somewhere at like the middle end of part 3 of JoJo's. And what I will say is that because it's been such a long time since I've read the JoJo's manga, I almost forgot about this scene occurring until Avdol came and actually saved Polnareff from Whole Horse's bullet stand. So when that happened, I remembered, oh shit, right, this dude dies. And lo and behold, we have Hangman being the stand of Mr. Sternfold, with a mirror reflection is able to stab Avdol in the back. And then in comes the final kill shot. We have the bullet of Whole Horse right through the forehead. Now, that scene, when it came to the actual death of Avdol, and then the ending reactions of Kyakurin and Polnareff, very hard to watch. Because you can clearly see the impact it had on Kyakurin, who, by the way, again, he's a Japanese student who isn't even like 20 years old. And for the first time, seeing someone that he respected, a comrade, die on their way to Dio, where they've been successful so far, overcoming all these odds and all these obstacles. And here we have Avdol die, and he said it was too easy. It was too easy. It was too sudden. And at the same time, you have Polnareff, who clearly understands that Avdol died for his sake. And you have him break down in tears, trying to be manly, but he starts to cry, straight waves of tears. Because, yet again, he had allowed someone to die and he couldn't do anything about it, in this sense. In fact, Avdol died because of a direct result of Polnareff not listening to Avdol's request. And because of that reason, unlike when his sister died, when he couldn't do anything about that, he was the direct result of Avdol's death. Now, when it comes to the pacing, animation, story progression, those, first of all, the pacing, I think that they covered like maybe 2 chapters in the manga. Possibly 3. I'm not too sure. Because again, it's been a while. It's been a long time, over a year. And when it came to the story progression, basically we get the introduction of Mr. Centerfold and what he looks like. And we also get to see Whole Horse. And Whole Horse is the Emperor. Yeah, that's his stand. His stand is almost like a dual combo of a gun and the bullet. So the gun itself is a stand, and the bullet itself is its own stand that can actually change trajectory in mid-flight. And when it comes to Mr. Centerfold, there's something very phenomenal when it comes to his stand. We'll find out later on. But the main thing here about his stand is the simple fact that his stand requires mirrors. But not just mirrors, but more so reflections of any kind. They can be a regular mirror, they can be puddles, We see him in the middle of this desert or savanna area, and we have him and Whole Horse take out a cobra that was going towards Mr. Centerfold. And the cobra's head, after it was shot off, or after the main body was shot off by Whole Horse, the head is still flying towards Centerfold, and it passes through the reflection of this wine glass. And through the wine glass, his stand, the hangman, is able to interact with the material world and chop this thing up into pieces. So you're gonna find something out later on about his stand that's very phenomenal. However, what I will say is that mainly the character development, if you would, or I should say in this case, the one who had the better character introduction was Whole Horse, because we get to find out who he is as a person, at least a little bit. This guy's a playboy. He's a cowboy playboy. He has his whole Western, like old school, like cowboy getup, and he is a womanizer of sorts. But at the same time, okay, fine. Womanizer is a strong word, but he's a playboy. All right, there was some princess who was 16, wanted to marry him on the spot, and then he kind of woos her and really just solidified their quote-unquote love, even though in his mind it was all bullshit. So, moving on though, the animation was something special. It really was, because not only was it hilarious when it came to the pig scene in the toilet, and we have the main party experiencing Calcutta, India for the first time, lively, 11 million people in this small city, and you have this, boisterous town that they're not used to, I suppose, and at the same time, it's really impactful and jarring when it came to Avdol's death, and the tears on Polnareff's face, and the reaction of Kyakorin, and so on and so forth. So, from a reviewer standpoint, in my personal opinion, this episode is fucking amazing. This episode is goddamn amazing. I love it. Love it. And that's the way I see it. Because they hit a lot of points. And we have good character introductions. We have we have a death of a main character, if you would. And that's pretty much it, to be quite honest. So, that right there is probably the main reason why I'm giving it amazing, because they just hit a lot of points very well. However, I'm gonna look at this through another perspective, because I have to, because that's the way I operate. So if you don't like it, I don't really care. I just don't. I mean, some of the long-time subs, they know how I roll when it comes to this type of situation. But I gotta look at this through the perspective of just a regular black man. And it bugs the fuck out of me. It really does. Because we have, oh my god, the token black guy getting killed off, not even halfway into the fucking series. Oh wow, ooh, who saw that coming? And what bugs me is that this happens in so many avenues. This happens in movies. This happens in comics. This happens in anime, and even though anime and manga, they are, anime manga, fuck it. This happens in gaming. This happens in so many avenues. So many avenues, where after a while it becomes very fucking frustrating. It really does. Because when you have someone like Avdol, who you assume his position, given the fact that he was a fortune teller, given the fact that he was an experienced stand user, given the fact that he was the only person among their party to actually escape Dio fucking Brando, Avdol winds up being more or less a stepping stone for Polnareff. Given what happens in the next episodes to come, since I kind of remember now what's happening here, this death of Avdol sparks a change in Polnareff's character and his mindset. And more or less what happens to Polnareff and Avdol, it's very similar to Jiraiya and Naruto in Naruto, the series, where Jiraiya's death more or less becomes a fucking stepping stone for Naruto, the character. And in this case, it occurs for Polnareff. So that really bugs me. It does. Because there are very, 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 very few black people who we as black viewers of movies, of anime, of manga, of whatever, can truly get behind and not have them die on us like 30 minutes into a fucking movie. Like, oh, the zombies are coming. Who's gonna die? Oh, I'll save you guys. Ooh. And then he saves them. And in the process, he dies. It's bullshit. And I don't know how the other guy, because I know that there are a lot of cats who are black guys who review JoJo's. One in particular, I know, longtime fan of JoJo's. Well, he doesn't review it, but he's a longtime fan of JoJo's. We have Samurai Black, or back in the day, Uber Black Man. And I don't know how he feels about this in particular. Nor Anime Central, nor the other cats that I watch that I review JoJo's. But to me, it bugs me. It fucking does, man. It really fucking does. Overall. The episode is amazing from my reviewer's standpoint. But honest to God, it really does bug me when this happens on almost every fucking level. Whether you're black, whether you're semi-tan, this shit goes down. Like, for some reason, the darker your skin color, the more likely you are to die. Fucking seriously. I'm not joking. That's some true shit right there. I'm done. Because I know that a lot of people aren't going to understand because they're just not black. It's just that it really is that simple. But that being said, I'm done. King of Lightning. Rate the video, comment, subscribe. Peace, and have a nice day.